about trends for 2026 if you are an artist. And I think artists always want to know what's coming. And you may, if you're watching and you're an artist, have your own inclinations and your own ideas as to what is coming. And maybe you're starting to see it, starting to feel it. And I think artists are actually naturally prophetic. So what I mean by that is, artists are very future oriented. It doesn't mean you're a fortune teller. That's not what I'm talking about. It's more this like intuitive, it's like, I think everybody has the ability to be prophetic, but because artists are always exercising their intuition and are practicing it as they create and they paint, and they're always sort of stretching into the future, even if it's just a few milliseconds beyond that last brushstroke. You're always looking at what's next. And it's kind of just become this natural way of being as an artist. So I feel like artists have an extra sensory device to see what's happening in the future.
Yeah, I like that. It makes me feel like I have superpowers.
Yeah. So my name's Elli Milan, if you're new to this channel, and I've been a professional artist for the last 30 years. And I also own Milan Art Institute, so we have another channel for that, Milan Art Institute. Yeah. And this is Tanner. He is an artist. He does all kinds of production work with us. He does some creative directing, and
I was going to do my own intro, but I like that better.
Oh, well, how would you intro yourself?
You know what? The same thing. Social media manager for Milan Art.
Yeah, I forgot that. That's like the main thing you do.
Yeah, that's like my job legally.
Legally?
Yeah, I don't know. So I put on my taxes.
Oh, really? Is that what you do on your taxes? You have to say what your job is?
Actually, I don't know if you do. I don't know. Anyways.
You're just making this up as you go along, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. So if you watched it, we have somewhere down in the videos here, we have our predictions that we made about this time last year for 2025. So first thing we're going to do is review them and see if we were right. Or actually you should see if we were right. Of course, we're going to think we were right, but it's really up to you to know if we were right. And then, because you made your predictions and I made my predictions and they weren't exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make new predictions for this year. And then next year we'll see if we were correct. So and first of all, what kind of like art world are we talking about? Mostly we're talking about paintings or wall art, because that's the world we're in. That's the world that we are thinking about, looking at. But I think it really does serve the larger piece of culture, because fashion, the fashion and beauty industry, even furniture, interior design, design in general, all play into our visual influences as artists. So, and I think a lot of art, if you can kind of sort of create a bit ahead, and you're sort of forward thinking, then your art won't really look dated. It'll be kind of right in line with the way things are going. And the idea isn't to be like trendy and, start, making art that only lasts a year or two. That's not the point.
Yeah.
But it's more like something you catch in the ether, that's in the messaging. It's in the voice and what you're really putting out there. And I think it's just interesting. So this is definitely not, I'm not advocating for it. I don't do it myself, and I'm not advocating for, you to hear this and then, immediately switch gears and start painting something completely different to fit some trend. Because you want to create art that has legs to it and can stand, and be relevant and impactful, over time. So
yeah.
So do you want to start with what did you predict last year?
Well, I know I I predicted a boom in affordable art sales. I think the number I said was sales 2,000 and under. I don't know how much that actually came true because the year is technically not over, and I don't think we'll start getting full numbers until like early next year.
Yeah.
But from what I've read, it does seem like the trends in 2025 continued from last year, where the upper market, the like 10 million plus art sales dropped, and the lower ones continued to rise.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool and has happened for sure.
Yeah, and you know, just since 2020, as an artist, as a gallery owner, as somebody who works with a lot of artists, I'm definitely knowledgeable about who's selling art and maybe who isn't. And I have seen from 2020 every year it get better and better. And 2020 was a fabulous year. That's when a lot of in-person, galleries and, did terrible, obviously, because of COVID. But artists being able to sell directly to collectors, it sort of really kickstarted a surge in that. It was already going, of course, but it really surged, and collectors got very comfortable working directly with artists. They got very comfortable with buying art online, especially in the lower price points. So I have just seen personally every year it get better and better, and 2025 was better than 2024, and I think 2026 is going to be better than 2025.
I think so too. Yeah. Want to go over yours? I know one of yours, you said Rococo revival.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't know about revival. That might be a strong word, but I am definitely seeing. I was starting to see the beginnings of this last year, and if I look back over the year, I can see in terms of design, in terms of framing in particular, in terms of furniture, the curviness, the ornateness of different types of furniture, a surge of velvet.
There was a lot of velvet, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's in fashion and in even corsets. I saw like a lot of women wearing corsets.
Yeah, you're so right.
And more frilly things. I think hair's gotten bigger.
It has. It really has. People are going for volume, biggerness. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's subtle. It's really subtle. And that's jumping ahead into predictions. We won't do that. But so I don't know. I feel like it wasn't completely off track.
No, for sure. Especially in furniture. I didn't even think about that. But I feel like I've seen so much more ornate furniture. Because I feel like for a while it was like the IKEA aesthetic of like simple, flat, boring. Gray. Everything's gray or like beige. Yeah.
So how I think trends work, it's not like you see this explosion of a trend and then it dies, an explosion of a trend and then it dies. They feed into each other. So it begins as this like murmuring or this little bubbling of something, and that feeds into something else, and that feeds into something else. And so this sort of Baroque, Rococo, I know that's kind of two different eras, but it's still that ornate gold, scrolly kind of vibe. It's rolling into something to come, and so that stark, hard-edged, geometric kind of look, I think is fading, and it's being replaced by a little bit more of a feminine, organic, curvy sort of form.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what else? What was another prediction you made?
One thing we both said was artists incorporating more 3D texture and stuff into their work.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely saw that. I feel like I saw a lot of like different mixed media things, like even beyond just like necessarily texture, like gold leaf. I feel like I saw so many artists doing really interesting things with like gold leaf or copper leaf. Like I feel like that was really big this year.
Yeah, a lot of exploration into new materials and pushing the envelope. And pushing boundaries of texture, collage, those kinds of things,
Yeah.
working with fabric, or even just kind of synthetic things like plastic, plexiglass, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just a few weeks ago went to Cincinnati to this big art consultant place, and she had this big art show, and her gallery is about 13,000 square feet, and I think there was like 400 pieces of art in it, and then she had another location that we also went to and saw an event, and I saw so much art that was wall art, but very three-dimensional. So she would have these like big baubles of glass, that were coming out of the wall, and this like, I don't know, like, I want to say it was plastic or glass, some sort of shiny, wavy kind of material there. So a lot of wall art that wasn't just a flat painting. And so I think the whole texture thing is definitely still very relevant.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to keep. I think this is just the beginning. I think it's only going to become more and more. Again, not to get too ahead of ourselves for predictions, but
yeah. What was another prediction?
Something we also both kind of talked about was more artists selling directly to collectors would continue to increase, which I think it has.
Well, yeah.
I was looking.
That's a little bit of a no-brainer.
I know,
kind of thing.
right?
I mean, I don't even know if you'd call that a prediction. But
Yeah. I was reading some interesting things about Etsy's reporting and how that's been going. Like Etsy's, the number of dollars they've made have gone up, but I think, I could be misremembering, but I think the number of sellers on Etsy was actually less. And I think that's because, I mean, why sell through Etsy when you could just sell directly to a collector?
Right.
Like I think people are starting to kind of leave Etsy, and that's kind of the sentiment I've seen.
Yeah, well, Etsy has really increased their fees and made it extremely difficult. So only the big sellers that kind of almost mass sell are profitable on Etsy, and the sort of small-time sellers are not. And so I think that's like a big cause of that is Etsy has lost its mission.
Yeah, like it's no longer, like I feel like it's hard to be a smaller creator, especially when you do something like art, like paintings. Like that's a very, it's a one thing, it's unique. You can't mass produce a painting.
Yeah, Etsy's kind of become Amazon for more crafty, artsy things.
Yeah, and I think people are starting to see that. And
but it has become way more commercial.
Yeah. But I think it's becoming so much easier nowadays to just sell directly to collectors.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Did you have any predictions that didn't come true?
One thing I remember I said, this was kind of a pessimistic take, I guess I had. But I said that AI art would completely overtake like corporate art, like art corporations use, or like the stuff that you probably get in like a Home Goods or whatever would just, I don't know why I was like, it's just all going to be AI. And that you can see it a little bit. I've seen some people post videos and whatnot of like prints on like festive napkins or whatever, or like, it's like, oh, that was made by AI because it's like happy holidays instead of happy holidays spelled out, But I don't think...
Yeah, but that's napkins. We're talking art.
I know. And I don't think it's completely taken over. I think I was wrong. I think I might be right in the future, but it wasn't.
I'll tell you something
yet.
I witnessed along those lines that, so at this art show I was just talking about the company is called ADC, if you want to look it up. They're in Cincinnati. Lita Spanos owns it. And so she is an art consultant, and she basically does art advisory. And so she'll help corporations or businesses, individuals for their home find art. And so, and she'll suggest different art and design spaces. So she really shines in the corporate. So we were looking at a lot of her jobs in different places, and I met a lot of her clients that she's worked with. And what I really love that she's doing is she is educating the consumer about art and art in spaces. And so she'll talk about the artist and what the art is all about, and why does it fit so perfectly in the space, and how does it enhance the space. And we even heard one of her clients, he was an accountant, and he owned a big accounting firm in this big office building, lots of offices. And we were looking at different pictures of the different spaces and how the art beautified. And you could just see he loved the art. He loved sharing it. And he was talking about how when his clients come in, to the office and go to the conference room, or, sit down and talk, that they're always talking about the art and how much it enhances the whole experience of going there. And they were really, truly beautiful spaces. And he put a lot of care into, or I'm sure Lisa helped him, into choosing the different furniture. And it's in this sort of unspoken, it wasn't thematic as much as it was in the curves and the movement and what was outside the window. Cincinnati has really interesting historic buildings, and you could see this out of this one window, there was this red brick sort of building that took up a lot of space in the skyline, and then it kind of continued in the wall. The art on the wall had this red brick in it, in this abstract, and then it kind of curved around into some wood pieces that had that same color. And it was just this beautiful, cohesive space that you wanted to be in. And so I think things like that are telling me that there's a whole bunch of people that are going to actually go the opposite direction of AI art and actually see how powerful and meaningful it is to actually have real art by real humans that put their heart into it, and an advisor that's there to make the spaces, just look beautiful and like a space you would want to be in. So to me, that was extremely encouraging. And, I've seen a lot of that. I used to work a lot with these types of designers that design in corporate spaces, and I provided a lot of the art for those spaces.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's going away. I feel like, if anything, it's happening more and more. And so, I hope you're always wrong on that one.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think I will. I don't know. We'll see.
I think AI, okay, well, this goes into the predictions. I have a whole thing on that, so let's just wait. So any more things that from last year that we want to highlight where we were really right or really wrong? Or
one thing you said, that artists must really be influencers. They must connect, not just create, which I think that's something we've definitely saw a lot of in 2025. I feel like artists that have done well are the ones that have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Being able to form a connection with the collector.
I've also seen some artists that I followed for a while that were very just tight with galleries. They didn't do a lot on social media. They had very small followings. They had barely a website. It was kind of old. And they mostly relied on the gallery relationship. And I've watched them over the last year or two sort of blossom more in that influencer role. And you really got to know them, and they're sharing a lot more of their lives. And even when they do the gallery shows, and I was watching their social medias really take off and grow. Some of them even doubling over this last year. So I feel like it's something that we're going to see continue, but it's definitely happening.
Yeah, I think so too. And I feel like that's a good segue to what are some
next?
things? Yeah, what's next?
I have to look at my own list because yours is confusing to me.
You sent it to me.
Oh, is that my list? Well,
Yeah.
It looks better on my phone.
Okay.
Okay, so, why don't you say what your list is first?
Okay.
What are your predictions?
Well, I mostly look at art from the social media lens because that's kind of the world I live in,
Yeah.
you know? And one thing I think that we're going to see a lot of is almost everyone is getting really good at making content, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's becoming easier.
Even the people that made bad content.
Yeah, like everyone's just getting better, and there's so many tools that make it so much easier that I feel like we're gonna start to really see that reflected in how artists use social media. Like, I think if you don't know how to edit a video or whatnot, I think you really need to learn.
Yeah, it's not hard. Even I can do it.
It's so easy. Especially, it's so easy to get good quality footage nowadays too. Like these phone cameras are like amazing, and as long as you have a fairly recent iPhone, or okay, I don't know how Androids are or whatever. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, and just really document. Like artists should just document their life, their lifestyle, what they do, and share it in a pleasing or entertaining way.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see artists, especially because artists are creative, find really interesting ways to push that further and like different ways to share their art with the world through social media.
Okay, so more of the artists becoming influencers, creating content, better content creation.
Artists are going to become really good content creators.
Okay,
I'd say. I think that's one of mine.
All right, what's your next one? Where do you even have them written?
Oh, I don't have them written.
You can memorize them? Wow, that's what it's like to be young.
Well, I was thinking we could go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, mine kind of play into each other. So I think you go first and then I'll go.
Oh, okay.
Because mine, I guess I can go. So I'll start with style. So I broke mine down, styles versus business trends.
Okay, let's do that because I got some styles and business trends too. So we'll go.
So that one was more of a business trend, sort of.
I guess, actually, yeah. Yeah, so.
Okay. Well, so in terms of style, I just recently saw this thing called medieval revival, and I just still think that's like what I called Rococo revival. I feel like that is, you could get nitty gritty and technical. Also, the picture they showed for this medieval revival, it was not medieval. It was, again, like velvet, jewel tones, gold, ornate. And it's like, it wasn't medieval. It was more like, I would call it Baroque, It was a bit later. And so, I don't know, it's that Baroque, almost like French, ornate, Italian ornate kind of styling. And I just think we're going to see a continuation of the jewel tones, the velvet, the deep, rich colors. And so I think that's going to continue. And that is really going to, my next prediction is a resurgence of framing. So for a long time in art, when I first got started in art, frames were like big and they were getting very like extravagant. And they mostly were trying to match the room, the furniture in the room. So it was always like, what kind of wood do you have in your house? Was it dark wood, light wood, medium wood? And when I first started, everything was oak, right? It was oaky. And so frames were that kind of medium wood. And then everything became espresso, right? And the woods got darker and deeper and more cherry. And then frames kind of went out and everything was gallery wrapped and you continue to paint around the edges and people wanted more art, less frame. So they wanted bigger pieces of art, less frame, and they were putting things right there flush on the wall and gallery wrapped and not framing anything. And because there was this sort of desire for more of a contemporary look. And now what I'm seeing is it's kind of going back to frames, but the frames are accentuating the art. They're in a continuation of the art. So if the art fits the room, the frame's going to fit the room. And sort of like a disregard or who cares about what kind of wood is in the room or the colors, as long as the frame feels like it's still a part of the art. So it's like the frame used to be a bridge between the art and the furniture in the room, and now what I'm seeing is it's just the whole piece of art. So frames I've seen getting a lot more ornate and extravagant and creative and just really what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like just extravagant, very like almost like having this luxurious. It used to be like tacky to have this like gold, scrolly, Baroque, almost like antique looking, very garish gold frame. And now that is like really cool. So and we've in the gallery we have a lot of people that request real wood, gold leaf, scrolly, ornate frames, that are kind of like Baroque looking.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and things that we've done is like continue the painting into the frame, not a gold one, but like a white Baroque type frame. And you kind of continue the painting and let it kind of splash over the frame a little bit. And so it has that kind of eclectic feel of sort of old with the new and a contemporary where the edges of the painting kind of spill out a bit.
Yeah.
So I think framing the future for framing is pretty bright, and that's not just into next year. It's going to go beyond that.
I think so too. Yeah, frames are huge. I also wonder, do you think there's going to be any kind of fun trends in terms of like subject matter in paintings that you can see? I think we're going to see I think what's going to be really popular is more figurative art and like art that depicts human figures in like interesting ways. I feel like at least lately what I've been seeing a lot on social media, the paintings that go viral or do well are some form of that where it's like an abstracted human figure or a human figure painted expressively or whatnot. I think that's something, because I think that kind of speaks to what a lot of people seem to be yearning for is like humanness, human connection. Mm-hmm. I feel like, I don't know, I think there's kind of a technology fatigue, maybe that's kind of happening. And maybe that's kind of why people are kind of harkening back to like frames or like that Baroque,
older things. Yeah.
Because, I mean, we are surrounded by technology all the time. We're on the internet 24/7 nowadays with these things,
Yeah, I think the overarching, and this plays into the business trends, styles, everything you're saying, I think the overarching constraint or struggle we are all having as humans, and it doesn't matter where you live. This could be Europeans, this could be Americans. Like it doesn't matter. Anywhere in the world, Asia. This is what we're all struggling with: is what is real, what is real, what is true. There's just so much fakeness in our world, whether it's AI. I mean, I'm constantly sending my kids funny pet things and they write back, go, that is AI. Yeah. And immediately, I hate it. Immediately, I'm like, I thought, you mean that seal didn't jump into the boat when the killer whale was chasing it? That was fake? I mean,
you feel so dumb when you fall for an AI video.
Yeah, and so we're all being very conditioned on a daily basis to despise it. And nobody wants to be duped. So there's almost these walls or this, like, is it real? Is it fake? Are they telling the truth? Is that real? So I think as artists, we're positioned, first of all, really well because artists are just very authentic. Like nothing feels worse to a true artist than phoniness. And so I just think that positions artists to be in a very, very good place because we are sort of the administrators of authenticity. We are ambassadors of authenticity, and the world is craving true authenticity. And I think that's why texture, because you can't print or manufacture, it's like texture, real.
It's like for sure a hand placed that there because there's no other way it could have gotten there.
Yeah. So art that is very expressive, the brushstrokes, if the blendy, smoothie stuff, hyper realism, because it's like, well, did AI do that? Is that real? You know, did a robot do that? Did a machine do that? But nothing can replace true human expressiveness and just thick layer of paint and brush strokes and an emotional release, you know, into the painting, and where you can feel the painting. And when you see it, it's like it punches you in the gut, or it grips your heart, or it might even make you cry. Those types of responses is where artists are going to shine most. And I think the question everybody has right now is it real? And when you experience art, then you know it's real, which plays into one of your predictions about
the
in person.
Yeah, I think in 2026 we're going to see a lot more just in-person art events, art shows, live painting, because I feel like playing into I think there is a technology fatigue that's kind of hitting people, and I mean the best way to beat that is to get away from technology, is be around humans and other people. And I think artists that really embrace that are going to really position themselves well to succeed, because like if you do live painting events, people then can see a human touching the canvas with
That's
paint.
right.
They see that it's real.
Live painting, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to want to, you know, and maybe buy it because they know for sure, I saw this painting being made. That's awesome. I can make a connection to the artist too, because the connection between artist and collector, I think, is also super important. And yeah, I think in 2026, I think it'll be the year that we really see a lot of live events just take off.
Yeah, and another thing that's doing, you know, is this real, and everybody, you know, worried about that, is it's educating the collector. The collector is really starting to get involved in the process. So I think artists should share their process, because collectors want to see, like, how was it made? Was there any funny business here? Is it actually, you know, you that made this, you know, and so sharing your whole process, going back to the content creation, you know, creating content around your process, not necessarily for artists, like saying, I used Mars Black and Prussian Blue, and like, the collector doesn't care about that. It's, think about what is your process from a romantic collector's point of view. And it's all about, where was it hand hewn? Where was it emotional? Where was it that part of the process? And really showing, you know, how your work is constructed, how an idea is born. And I think that, you know, collectors are getting very savvy, they're getting very educated, and they are watching for that authenticity and that human connection. And I think all those things are positive.
Me too.
So I think AI is actually providing a juxtaposition of where art, you know, it's the opposite of where artists shine most.
Yeah. You know, speaking of that, I've gone through many waves of optimism and pessimism in regards to like AI and how it's going to affect society. Right now, I'm in a more optimist high. So my optimist take right now is that one of my fears is that, like, well, the average person doesn't care about any of that. They just want the pretty picture. They'll just go for AI. But I think that it's easier to convert those people to appreciating real art.
Yeah.
And once they're converted, they're on the other side forever.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think a person that appreciates real art and real painting will ever not, you know? Like, you can't go the other way. So I think that's actually something we might see. I think we will see more people.
Well, and real original art in these lower price points is becoming more and more tangible to everyone.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think the average person wants it, craves it. They don't want a print on their wall. They don't want AI art on their wall. They just want to be able to afford it. And so somebody that, you know, makes a sort of, you know, middle class income can spend $800 on a painting. Maybe it's not a huge painting, maybe it's a smaller painting, but it's their pride and joy. It's their favorite thing they have in their house, and it meant a lot to them. And as their income grows, so will their art collection. And I see a lot of younger people with less money getting into art collecting and really valuing it and really enjoying it. And so I think that's a trend that we're going to continue to see, grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what else do you got? Do you have anything else in design?
In design, not really. I think we are going to see more. I think more abstract realism as a general style. I think it's been growing, and I think it's just going to get more and more.
Yeah, because of what you just said about the connection and
and also
expressiveness.
And just the abstract realism. It is kind of that best of both worlds, where it's like
contemporary, but you have something to connect with.
Yeah, and I think people like seeing that technical skill of realism in artwork, because there is something really cool about when you paint something and it looks like the thing.
Yeah.
People love that. That's why throughout all of history, people have been aiming for that. But, we have cameras now. So that, with also expressiveness, something that's unique to that, only that artist could do that. Because anyone can paint a realistic flower, but not everyone can make the same abstract marks.
Right, or turn it into poetry.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
I see that just continuing to grow as it has been.
Yeah. I have under business trends that, last year we talked about artists as influencers. I see also, yes, artists as influencers in terms of like, hey, I'm here, I'm raw, I'm open, I'm authentic, I'm vulnerable, I'm sharing. And now, I've made space for you. You're okay now. So, and we connect. That of course, I think is still there. But I also can see artists, not all artists, and if you're an artist and this is like, ugh, I don't want to do that, you don't have to. But I do think some artists will also kind of move into a more entertainment, sort of performer entertainment. And it's weird because we didn't compare notes, and I think you have that. Don't you have that too?
Artists becoming content creators, and it's like, I think your self as an artist is going to be important in selling your art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that comes with a certain amount of performance. I know, we have this reality show that we've done for years now called Outstanding Artist, and we started in 2019, I think. No, 2020. Yeah, season one.
Before my time, yeah.
Yeah, season one was 2020. And we're about to release our 4th season, and it's going to launch in January. So very exciting. And when we first did it, I was scouring YouTube for any kind of content like it, and I couldn't find anything. I really couldn't find. There was like a portrait competition show that was on TLC or something, and I think I saw Show Me the Monet. There was something.
That's an amazing name for a show.
I don't think it's around anymore. And none of it was on YouTube. It was all like high production things on like TLC or something. Is TLC even a thing anymore?
I think so. I don't have cable anymore.
I don't do TV or cable, so I don't know. But in terms of YouTube land, there was really nothing. You couldn't find artist competitions. You couldn't. There was like a few live events of art battles I knew about, but there really wasn't a lot. And now as I look, I can see on YouTube, there's a lot of different artist competitions that are actual YouTube shows. And so I just think we're going to see more of that. It's sort of like the Mr. Beast of art, where you're going to have edutainment type things concerning art that not just artists are going to watch, but also all art lovers, And I'm seeing a lot of artists start YouTube channels and be entertaining and not just show how-to videos. Sure, there's a lot of how-to videos out there, but I think now artists are able to actually bring themselves and interesting topics and their lifestyle and their art creation as a process to not just artists but collectors and be entertainer performers out there, not just influencers.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention too was that something I'm seeing more and more on social media content that artists post is that there's a lot more shots that show the full artist. Because like a lot of times, a lot of reels about painting, you see the paintings,
hands.
you see hands and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing more and more people are showing more shots that like show their full studio. You see the full artist's body and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think that's just all playing into more of the, connecting with the artist, seeing the artist. The artist is a part of it.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of like a renaissance.
Yeah.
'Cause prior to the Renaissance, nobody cared about the artist. Nobody even knew the artist's name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I do kind of feel like we're entering a new kind of renaissance. The artist is once again the hot thing.
Saucy is going to start being an adjective.
Saucy.
That's so saucy. I use it. I don't know if anybody else uses it, but
Saucy means as in renaissance-y, like saucy.
saucy. I would just trip out if I heard somebody anywhere else in the world use that.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think it's a real word.
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's get it going. Let's just start it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
Anybody-
get it.
you just
In
start saying
2026,
it.
we're going to add saucy to the dictionary.
Saucy, yeah.
Webster, hit us up.
Okay. So what else do I have here in the business trends? So, galleries. Okay, what's going to happen with galleries?
Yeah.
I think we're seeing, galleries and dealers, what I'm seeing a trend is that they are really, this is so good. This is so good, and this is going to continue. I'm seeing all the galleries that are thriving and doing really well are actually really honoring and highlighting and almost treating artists like a celebrity.
Yeah.
And galleries are beginning to, even pay artists way and put them up, and pay for their travel and invite them to do live shows. They're understanding that having that live connection, live painting at the shows, utilizing the artist as that performer, that entertainer, that personality, bringing their authenticity, bringing their real heart and who they are to the live events, to the shows, to meet the collectors is very advantageous, and you can make a lot more sales and build those deep, meaningful, and stay relevant. Because if the gallery can connect the artist and the collector in an experience, then that makes the gallery more relevant. And I think galleries for many years were afraid to do that because they felt like as soon as they connected the artist and the collector, then nobody's going to want the gallery anymore, and they're going to bypass the gallery and they're just going to, buy from each other. And that's not really the case. We just did a commission, a really large commission, and the person who bought the commission, the first time she sees the painting, she hasn't seen it yet. She hasn't even seen a picture of it yet. The first time they see the painting, they want to see it on the gallery wall. And she wants to walk into the gallery and see her painting on the gallery wall for the first time. And I think that's a desire a lot of people have when they buy art. They want the gallery experience. And the gallery experience can be richer and better and more profound for both artist and collector if they connect the two. Now, connecting the two outside of the gallery sort of loses the experience for both, because the collector kind of likes to think of the gallery as this think of the artist as this you're the artist. But if you go to the artist's studio and you see cigarette butts on the floor and spilled paint and an old McDonald's thing over here or whatever. I mean, who eats McDonald's anymore? But you know what I mean. They're it's like the glam or the romance of it all is gone away. It's better if this is all imagined in their mind of what that studio really looks like, and the experience is happening at the gallery. So I just think that from what I see, the art consultants, the advisors, the gallerists, they're the ones that are thriving and doing well are really honoring artists. They're speaking highly of the artists. And I know when I first started, man, it was the opposite. It was like the artists were like treated really poorly. And it was like, they treated you like, oh, you're lucky to be able to work with us. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be eating right now, you know? And it's like, now galleries really know artists can sell perfectly fine on their own. But it's just more of a complete experience when that whole relationship is together and intact. So I think we're going to see more of that. And I think the old galleries that are kind of elitist, that are pretentious, that are, you know, keeping everybody in their place, that are gatekeeping, I think they're just going to continue to go out of business. And the ones that are going to be new, thriving, are going to capitalize on events. They're going to capitalize on, you know, themes, purpose, meaning. You know, collecting art is meaningful, and really, collectors love to support artists. And when galleries like tomorrow, what we're doing, we're having an art show at our gallery, and it's we're also having a collector's choice. So whoever wins, whatever artist wins collector's choice, wins money. And there's I think 3 prizes, right, first, second, and third. And they're winning art supplies, and they're winning you know, cash. Plus they can sell their painting, but they're also winning cash. And we, the gallery, are paying the cash. And we're giving the collectors you know, little like gem stickers to put on the name tag of their pick, who they think, you know, had the best painting in here. And it's like, it's giving the collector this feeling of like they're a part of it all. They're supporting, they're cheering on. They're the balcony people of these artists that are like, yeah, go. You're changing the world, and we're behind you, and we're with you. And if the gallery elevates the artist and is like, you know, artists are amazing, and they're creating beautiful things, and you know, we honor them, then of course the collectors are going to feel that way, and they're going to want to buy the art. As soon as galleries are like, you know, oh, these groveling, starving artists that, you know, are lucky to have us, that's transmitting to the collectors, and they're not going to make as many sales. So that was a long way to say all of this, but I just feel like we're in a whole new sort of gallery artist relationship that's really sweet and really nice. And I'm seeing more and more of it, not just our gallery, but lots of galleries. Yeah,
I think so too. I think 2026 will be like the year of the artist and like uplifting the artist and whatnot, which I think does kind of beg the question. I kind of saw someone allude to this in the chat though about like,
oh, you're talented. You can read the chat.
I can glance down at it every now and then.
I would love to know what people are saying.
Yeah, fun stuff from the glances I've taken. But someone was wondering, because I mean, I do think that artist as a performer and whatnot is going to be a big thing. What about for people that, you know, are maybe on the more shyer side, introverted side?
True, yeah.
Or like, well, you know, I just want my art out there and then hide. Like, what kind of advice would you give to them as we navigate this kind of thing we think is going to happen?
Well, I don't think, you know, I don't think all artists have to be, you know, performing and all of that. That's just if you want to. Not every artist needs a YouTube channel. Yeah. But I do think that all artists, no matter where you're at in this, should grow, should change, should grow, should be comfortable and confident enough in what they're doing and what they have to say to be able to meet new people, to be able to connect, because that's what collectors want. That's what people who buy your art want. And I think that if you are like, you know, very terrified of social interaction, I think that you can change. That's not a personality type. That is due to deeper issues, and those issues can be addressed. There's healing that can take place. There's transformation that can take place, and it's just baby steps. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to imagine like the full throttle of this, but maybe you're afraid to create content or show yourself when you create content. Well, just start by showing your art or showing your hands. And maybe you can use the AI voiceover, and then eventually you can read a voiceover in your own voice. And then eventually you might graduate to where you can talk in front of the camera. So it's all baby steps. That's how I, started. I remember the first time I was being filmed, I wanted to cry. I felt like humiliated. It was just so, because you know what it was? I couldn't figure out who I was connecting with. Right now I'm literally talking to a camera, but I know you're on the other side of this. And I've done enough YouTube videos and I've read the comments, and then when I read the comments, I know who a lot of the people are, because either they've come to a workshop or I've met them at the gallery or whatever. And so we do have this connection, and I don't feel like I'm just talking into thin air. I actually feel like I'm talking to you. I see the chat right here, and that really helps. But when I first started, I was like, I'm just talking into this black rectangle, and and you feel humiliated and stupid. It's almost like, have you ever tried dancing alone with no music? It's like that. Have you ever tried that? It's humiliating.
No. Yeah.
Try dancing alone, all alone. Nobody's home. Nobody can see you. Nobody can watch you. Try dancing alone with no music. It is so difficult. But as soon as there's a couple other people in the room and they're dancing with you and there's music playing, it's a lot easier. So I feel like, meeting people, getting out there, connecting, it just happens in baby steps, and you just keep building and you keep growing. So don't settle though I would go as far as to say that if you plan for the rest of your life to just be a hermit in a log cabin somewhere in the mountains and paint all alone, and you want to be very successful as an artist, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
A lot harder.
Yeah. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's so much harder. And I feel like
you would have to have some advocate for you if you really can't or don't or won't. You have to make really, really good art. Your skills have to be there. You've got to put a lot of heart and emotion and voice into it. And then you need, a Theo, what's his name? Theo Van Gogh.
Theo Van Gogh, yeah.
You need like Van Gogh's brother, that somebody that really believes in you, that is vivacious, that is a personality, that can kind of be your agent and get you out there and speak for you.
Yeah, but I feel like you should just think about, like, you really do miss out on, not even just from a business sense, but even from like just a human sense.
Yeah,
like,
a human connection sense.
Yeah.
And having the joy, what would happen is you would be robbed of the joy and the fulfillment of witnessing your art touch people.
Yeah.
I mean, when I see people see my art and they cry, I cry. It's unforgettable. It's absolutely unforgettable. Or when they see a perfect stranger walks into the gallery and walks in front of my painting and goes, oh, something like that. I'm like, and so you miss out on those interactions and seeing that. And it's what an honor. There's nothing greater, I think, than, being able to create something and somebody else enjoy it and value it. It's such a beautiful exchange.
It is. It really is.
Okay. I have like at least, we got to talk about the colors of the year and all that. So
okay, bring it. We got time. We can do it.
Okay. So my last one is, I wanted to address the color of the year because Pantone did make their announcement, and I've done a little bit of research on this, and there's basically two leading color voices out there. There's Pantone, and then there's Coloro and WGSN. So they're two different entities that kind of collaborate. And so Pantone is world known. They're very well known. And actually what they are known for is, sure, they announce color of the year, but it actually holds no weight. I can't say no weight. It holds very little weight. Because it's ephemeral, and they make the announcement, they just made it, and they do it so close to the new year. Nobody can manufacture and create products with this color for 2026. 2026 products have already been created.
Yeah.
And so it really bears no weight. And it's sort of a random thing, and maybe it influences like things that you can do more spontaneously. But that's not really what Pantone is known for. So they're always like, Pantone color of the year, but you never see it. Like last year, it was some sort of chocolate thing. It was like brown.
Espresso or something?
Espresso or I don't know, it was brown.
Yeah.
And I didn't see brown. I didn't see brown clothes or brown, like there was no evidence of brown in 2025.
I feel like, 2025 didn't seem very brown to me.
Yeah, and then like, I think recently it was like, anyway, Pantone's color of the year is semi-irrelevant. So their color that they've announced is Cloud Dancer.
Cloud Dancer, I pulled it up right here.
Cloud Dancer, so it's white.
It's white.
Last year was brown, this year it's white. Let's just say Pantone is tone deaf. Now, Pantone, what they're known for is matching color. So they hold sort of the registry of digital color, and you know, they are sort of the timekeepers of color, right? It's like, what does mulberry look like? Well, Pantone will tell you. So that's really what Pantone is for. Now, the ones who actually predict trends is this company, or this collaboration between Coloro and WGSN, and they have predicted transformational teal. And they made these predictions. They actually predict several years in advance because the beauty industry, the clothing industry, fashion industry follows what they say. And so now you're going to see it in the products. So it's not as much a prediction. It's more of a declaration. So Coloro and WGSN basically declare what the color of, and they actually have a whole palette, and you should look at it because it is like this color here. Well, it's this violet. It's a little bit more violet than that. That's not quite the color. Anyway, lime green, violet, transformational teal, and this kind of ice blue. They have this whole palette that's out there, and those are the colors you're going to start seeing. You're going to see, the bicycles, right? You're going to see bicycles in transformational teal, or in the fashion, like whatever the products that are created. You'd go get a water bottle. It's not going to be, pink. It's going to be transformational teal, lime green, and this like electric violet.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how the color thing works. It's not as much of a, but they do sort of read the culture, and they are, you can read about it. It's really fascinating what they say about transformational teal. And I think it's true. And it goes right along with what we were saying about what is real. And what they were saying is that the whole world is sort of craving and groaning for this like movement into the thing we've all been waiting for. It's like for many years, we're like, something good is coming. Something good has to come, right? We want to move out of the thing we've been in and into the new thing because people haven't liked where we've been. And so they're saying this is the year it shifts. And
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I love teal, so I'm all on board. Actually, their whole palette is very exciting. I want to do a whole painting in that palette.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be super cool.
Just for like fun, because it's a cool palette that they came up with.
Yeah. This is your 2026 painting. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I've always like just gone with Pantone and went, huh? Almost every year I'm like, huh? What is that all about? Because you don't really see it. And now it makes sense to me because it's not.
It's like, well, we're going to see it. if I buy a white T-shirt, I'm seeing Cloud Dancer.
It's so dumb. We really need to be relevant. They had a board meeting.
Yeah.
Guys, we really need to be relevant this year. Brown was a flop. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I know. White. It's everywhere. They're going to know we were right.
Yeah. Gosh. Well.
Anyway, so yeah, do you have any more predictions?
I think,
did you say them all?
I think I said them all. Yeah, I think to sum it up, 2026 is going to be a super exciting year for artists. I think the artists themselves are going to be the focus a lot.
If you are just dibble dabbling in art right now and you've had a desire for a long time to be an artist and you haven't quite committed, you haven't quite dedicated yourself, you've hesitated throwing your heart into it, because I know that can be scary, throwing your whole heart and going, I'm going for it, I'm finally going to do this, I'm finally going to be an artist at full time and really give it all I have. Just do it. Just do it. What are you waiting for? Now is the time. And things are just getting better and better. And I have been saying this for at least 10 years, and I was right 10 years ago. All the people that listened to me 10 years ago, you know what they're doing right now? They're full-time artists selling their art. Full-time. And the last time they had a job was, probably 8 years ago. So just trust me. If you've been wanting to be an artist, this is your time. This is your year. And if you don't know where to start, then just take the mastery program. It will tell you everything you need to know about how to be a professional artist. So if you don't know what the mastery program is, go to masteryprogram.com, check it out, go look at it. All the information is there. It will, that program is revolutionary, and it will teach you everything from how to draw, how to oil paint, how to paint with acrylics, how to paint in mixed media. And it's an actual program with a start and a finish. And at the end of it, you learn how to build a art business. You learn how to market. You learn how to create the content. You learn how to build up your social media. You learn how to adopt the professional habits you need to build a business and be a business owner. You learn how to find your voice and create your style. So it's a fantastic program. I'm sure some of you watching are in the program. You can write in the chat what you think about the program. And don't hesitate, because time is just passing you by, and it's getting better and better and better for artists. And there is no reason today why artists can't be thriving, financially free, and really truly living out their destiny and their dream as an artist. There is nothing that can stop you. It is 100% your decision. It didn't used to be this way, but now artists have complete control over how successful they are. You get to decide. So that's all I gotta say. It's so exciting out there. Tomorrow I'm going to Miami because I'm going to go see all the shows around Art Basel and Red Dot, Spectrum, all the different shows, and a lot of our graduates are there showing their work, and I'm going to cheer them on and see what all is there, and see a lot of the people that have graduated from the mastery program that are showing and displaying their art there, whether it's through another gallery or it's directly through themselves. And I'm just so proud of that. It's so exciting that we have so many graduates there that I'm going to go and see, and some of them be meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm super excited. So it's just a great time to be alive, great time to be an artist. And I hope this information inspired you, got you thinking, got your wheels turning. And let us know in the comments what you're thinking. We'd love to hear all about it. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.